So the NBA draft last night was kind of wild. I feel like there was like 5,000 different trades. A lot of mocks were kind of busted right away. I mean, after pick 1, my mock draft was already imperfect. I only got 2 correct mock draft picks from mine. James Wiseman, number 2 to the Warriors, and Josh Green, number 18 to the Mavericks. But yeah, in today's video, I'm going to be grading every first round pick that happened from last night. Some teams killed it and got tremendous value for where they were, and then other teams kind of reached also for where they were. I also don't agree with the fits for a lot of these picks, and I do agree with the fits for a lot of these picks as well. So I agree and disagree with a lot of teams did last night. Also, I wanted to upload my Obi Toppin Knicks rebuild today, but 2K it's not really going too well on next gen. Every time you create a save, either it's from somebody's uploaded scenario or your own in my NBA, the game will crash in year 1 or year 2. It's unplayable. It sucks. Hopefully 2K fixes it soon so I can get you guys draft rebuilds, because I want to do my Obi Toppin Knicks. I want to do a LaMelo Hornets. But yeah, if you guys could drop a like on this video, I'd really appreciate it. Let's get into the draft grades. So number 1, Anthony Edwards was the first overall pick in the draft. I didn't think he was going to go number 1, and I thought he should just because of the fit in Minnesota. I'm going to give this pick an A-. I think there's nothing wrong with this pick, and I think he's a better fit than LaMelo in Minnesota, so I'm just going to give it an A-. I mean, we also could give grades, like C's could be the normal grade, but I'm going to give this an A- just because I think they didn't overcomplicate this. They didn't trade down and maybe not get enough value. They took Edwards, which was smart, but it'll be interesting to see because I know he said he wasn't as passionate about basketball. I don't know why you would say that, but hey, he still went number 1. Number 2, James Wiseman to the Warriors. I'm going to give this an A. If they took LaMelo Ball, it would have been a lot lower because I think the fit wouldn't have been as nice as James Wiseman, who could slide in as their 5, which they needed as their rim protector, rim runner. Pick and roll maestro, 2 they pretty much needed, and they aced the pick, so I'm giving it an A. Moving on to number 3, LaMelo Ball. This was the last of the consensus top 3. Going to Charlotte, I think this was still a no-brainer for Charlotte. I'm going to give it an A. I really don't think there was anything around it. There was no other player that I would take here. If I were them, maybe thinking about trading down and maybe select like Nneka Okongwu or something. But yeah, I'm going to give it an A. Good pick, Charlotte. We'll see what they do with all their guards in Rozier, Graham, and Ball in the future. Will they trade for Russ? I don't think so at the moment. Now, here's where the draft got interesting. I thought like 10 different guys could go at 4 to the Bulls, and they ended up taking Patrick Williams. I'm going to give this grade a C. It is going to be a very low grade so far for what I mentioned, because I just went from an A-, an A, to a C. It's just I think it was a little bit of a reach. I like Patrick Williams a lot. He didn't really start at Florida State. He's a 3-and-D stretch 4, which you could use, but I'm just kind of intrigued where he's going to fit in Chicago, because he's not going to be in that starting lineup unless you like him at the 3 next to Markkanen and Levine, which could be an option. I just kind of prefer him as a power forward, and with Larry Markkanen there, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. I thought they could maybe trade down with like Atlanta or maybe with the Knicks and still have gotten Patrick Williams. But I think maybe Detroit would have still taken him if he was on the board there at 7. I just think if he was their guy, they got their guy. I'm just going to give it a C right now just because I think it was a little bit of a reach. Cleveland at 5, they selected Isaac Okoro, the wing out of Auburn. I'm going to give this a B+. I like this pick. They needed a defensive wing desperately, and why not get the best one in the draft? I'm glad they didn't take a backcourt member because they already have Darius Garland and Colin Sexton. They didn't need another guard. Their front court was crowded, so hey, they got somebody they could put in the middle, perfect, that they could start. So I think this was a good pick by Kobe Altman. The only other person I would maybe considered here at 5 was Denny Avdia, but I like Okoro. That's why I'm giving it a B+. At 6, the Hawks kind of surprised a lot of people. They took Nneka Okongwu out of USC, which I was like, that's kind of a head scratcher since they traded for Clint Capella last year. They have Dwayne Dedmon. Dwayne Dedmon has 1 year left being fully guaranteed on his deal, and Clint Capella, I believe, has 2 years left on his contract. So I was like, I don't really know if I agree with that. I'm going to give it a B just for the fact that now they kind of have a crowded front court with John Collins, with DeAndre Hunter, if you view him as a 4, now with Dwayne Dedmon, Clint Capella, and Nneka Okongwu. I just thought they could maybe benefit from a wing or Tyrese Halliburton at this pick. But Nneka Okongwu, I really like. It's not like they drafted a bad player. I just don't know if I really agree with the need there with Okongwu. So I'm going to give it a B. At 7, the Pistons were able to select Killian Hayes. I'm going to give this an A-. You guys know me. I love Killian Hayes, and I think getting him at 7 was fantastic for Detroit. They didn't overthink the pick. I think Obi Toppin wouldn't have been a good fit at all for them. And I actually like the potential here of Killian Hayes rather than going like Tyrese Halliburton. So yeah, I'm going to give it an A-. Good job, Detroit, there at 7, but we'll get to them later with the pick I didn't really agree on. The Knicks took Obi Toppin at 8. As a Knicks fan, I really wanted Tyrese Halliburton here. I'm going to give the grade a B-, but if they're able to move Julius Randle, I'll give it a B. Obi Toppin was the best college player last year as he won the Naismith Award. He's a power forward that is great inside. He can catch lobs. He can shoot the ball a little bit. His big downfall is his defense. It's not great right now, and he's getting drafted or put into a system that revolves around defense with Tom Thibodeau's kind of system. So if he works on his defense and he gets better, good job on the pick. If they trade Julius Randle, fine job on the pick. I just don't really like it right now with Julius Randle. He's already behind. He's going to be 23 in March. A couple question marks with the pick. But it's not like it was a really bad pick as they took a really good player. I just think they need to move Julius Randle for it to go up in a grade. So I'm going to give it a B- for now. Moving on to 9 with the Wizards selecting Denny Avdija. I'm going to give this a B+. I didn't think Denny was going to fall to 9. I don't even think he was going to fall past 8 from the Knicks. So the Wizards getting him in at 9 was pretty good value. Will he help out their defense? I don't know if I can say he will, as they were the worst defensive team in the league last year. That's why I thought Okongwu would have been perfect. Maybe they could have looked at like Jalen Smith or Devin Vassell possibly at that selection. But I think with Denny Avdija possibly pretty much being a top 5 consensus guy, getting him at 9 is good value. I'm giving it a B+. At 10, the Suns took Jalen Smith, which you might think was like, oh, okay, a little bit of a reach there. I'm going to give it a B. I think Jalen Smith is actually a really good player. I just think at 10, it might be a little too high. He can shoot the ball. He can block shots. He can actually go out to the perimeter a little bit as well. He did that at Maryland. I think he's a fantastic player, but I mean, I couldn't even give it a B-. You know what? I'm changing it to a B- only because they're really drafting a definite backup with this pick. Top 10 pick, they're using it on a definite backup because he's not going to start over DeAndre Ayton. Now, they could maybe put him next to DeAndre Ayton, and then maybe I'll bump this up to a B if they're going to roll with that. But I don't know if they will at the moment, so I'm going to leave it as a B-. But if he starts at the 4, I'll give it a B. Devin Vassell going to the Spurs at 11 is going to get a B+ for me. I think that's pretty good value where he was going to go probably from the 8 to 14 range, so they got him smack in the middle. He's not as good of a defender as Isaac Okoro and not as good of an offensive player as Aaron Nesmith, but he's kind of in the middle. He's a good defensive player and a good offensive player. Not great on both ends, but he's solid there. And I think with DeMar DeRozan probably playing his last year in San Antonio, he could be a nice starting small forward for them going into the future. So that's why I'm giving it a B+. At 12, the Kings were able to select Tyrese Halliburton. I'm giving this an A+. Yeah, my first A+ here. This is tremendous value for Halliburton. People thought he could go possibly to the Warriors at 2. He can go to the Bulls at 4. I wanted the Knicks to take him at 8. I thought he could have went to the Hawks at 6. And the Kings got him at 12. This is a great first selection in Monte McNair's Kings regime. So I think this is a phenomenal job by Sacramento. I think they should look to move Buddy Hield, but with the Sixers being like his top suitor, trading Josh Richardson for Seth Curry, I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. So he probably won't start right away, but I love the pick, giving it an A+. Kira Lewis going to the Pelicans at 13. It's going to get a B for me. Now, I mocked this so many times leading up to my actual mock, my official one, but the reason I didn't have him going to the Pelicans at 13 in that mock was because they just traded for 2 new point guards in George Hill and Eric Bledsoe, and they already have Lonzo Ball. So I was like, okay, maybe they should just go with a wing or a big here at 13. But they ended up going with another ball handler. I love Kira Lewis. I would love Kira and Lonzo in New Orleans, but with also Bledsoe and George Hill there, I feel like it's too crowded at the point guard position. That's why I'm giving it a B. Celtics got Aaron Nesmith at 14, the sharpshooter out of Vanderbilt. I'm giving this a B+, especially if Gordon Hayward isn't coming back or they're going to try to flip Gordon Hayward for a big or something like that. But like I said, he's a sharpshooter. He's great in pull-up. He's great off the dribble. He's good off ball. I think this is a great pick for the Celtics bench, who needs an upgrade with their shooting, and they got it. First pick outside the lottery, the Magic took Cole Anthony, the point guard out of UNC. I'm giving this a B+. A lot of people's mock drafts had him in the 20 to 30 range, and I was praying he would fall to my Knicks at 23. And I think this is a really good pick for Orlando. I think Cole Anthony is a top 10 player in this draft. I love it, and I think it gives you an insurance policy with Fultz, saying he doesn't maybe get to where you want him to be. And if anything, he's a backup point guard next year because DJ Augustine is leaving in free agency. Good job not taking a big. Give it a B+ to Orlando. Now, at 16, this was supposed to be Houston, but then they traded it shortly before the draft started to Detroit, and they took Isaiah Stewart. This is getting my lowest grade so far. I'm giving it a D+. As a rebuilding team, who might be the worst team in the league next year, taking a center that can't shoot at 16, I just can't get behind it. I think there was just so many more higher upside players that they could have used on this pick, like Pukazevsky, Josh Green, RJ Hampton, Tyrese Maxey, Leandro Bolmaro, Tyrell Terry, Jaden McDaniels, Malachi Flynn. I just didn't really agree with the Isaiah Stewart pick. That's why I'm giving it a D+. So yeah, lowest grade so far. Next up, we have, I believe, technically the Thunder at 17. Yes, they ended up trading Ricky Rubio back to the Timberwolves here at 17 to take Alexis Pukazevsky. I'm giving this a B+. I think this is a high upside pick. Definitely Pukazevsky, only being 18 years old. He's going to go into a team that's going to be so focused on player development with their young guys. I think they're going to develop him correctly. I really like this pick for OKC, giving it a B+. Next up, we have Josh Green going to the Mavericks at 18. Going to give this a B+ as well. Somebody that could be a nice 3-and-D guy for that team, as they traded away Seth Curry for Josh Richardson. I don't know if I agree with that trade. It depends where you look at it on the spectrum. Do you prefer defense in Josh Richardson or the shooting in Seth Curry? But back to Green, I'm giving it a B+. I think this is a guy that you could put around Luka Doncic, help him on the defensive end, help him on the offensive end. Giving it a B+. 19 was kind of wild because the Nets ended up trading it to the Clippers for Landry Shamet, and then the Clippers ended up trading it to the Pistons for Luke Kennard. The Pistons ended up taking Saddiq Bey. Given this a B+, I think Saddiq Bey is tremendous value at pick 19. I would have taken him at 16 over Isaiah Stewart. Moving on to 20 for the Miami Heat, they took Precious Achiuwa out of Memphis. I'm giving this an A-. He is a high motor. He hustles up and down the floor. I think he's going to be perfect for that Miami system. You can plop him into the middle of Bam and Jimmy Butler, right at that power forward spot. Great job, Andy Ellisberg and Pat Riley. 21, the Sixers took Tyrese Maxey. I'm going to give this a B. I do like Tyrese Maxey. I just would have preferred Tyrell Terry personally, but I think he'll be a good pick. I don't know if he'll be the primary ball handler or that secondary ball handler right after Ben Simmons that maybe Sixers fans are expecting him to be right away. But he's definitely a good player and a good pick. Giving it a solid B. Zeke Naji went to the Denver Nuggets at pick 22. I'm giving this a B as well. I'm not a huge fan of Zeke Naji, especially as a power forward, but I'm thinking they're going to try to plop him right next to Nikola Jokic. That's why I'm not a huge fan of that. That's why I'm giving it a B, because I can see the upside around it and the reasoning, because they desperately needed to take a big to possibly fill Paul Millsap's shoes and Jeremy Grant, who both could leave in free agency, as Paul Millsap's getting looked at by the Blazers, and I don't think Jeremy Grant's coming back to the Nuggets. So I'm glad they addressed that need. I just don't know if I really like Zeke Naji. Like, Precious Achiuwa would have been perfect, but I like where they're going. That's why I gave it a B. Next up, we have technically the Timberwolves at 23. I thought this was the Knicks pick, but there was just so many trades on draft night. Who took Leandro Bolmaro? I'm giving this a B+. I don't expect the Timberwolves to be all that good next year, and Leandro Bolmaro, they don't really have to use resources on him. He's going to stay in Barcelona, at least for next year, develop a little bit more over there. I really like his game. He's a crafty playmaker, and I think he'll be huge for Minnesota going forward post-2021. Giving it a B+. 24 belonged to the Pelicans, but it ended up going to the Nuggets, and they took RJ Hampton. I'm going to give this a B+ as well. I think it's a high upside, low risk pick here at 24. They ended up giving up a protected 2023 pick. And if you can develop into a good secondary guard that you could plug in next to Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, it was a very good pick. I like where Tim Connolly's head was at. I'm going to give it a B+. And then my Knicks at 25, taking Emmanuel Quickley. I'm going to give it a B. He's a good shooter. He's a very good free throw shooter and three-point shooter mainly. He's a good ball handler. He's very fast. I like his motor on the defensive end. I'm giving it a B. I would have preferred Tyrell Terry. If you watched my stream, I was like, all right, Malachi Flynn or Tyrell Terry, I would have been happy with. And they ended up taking Quickley, who I don't think is a bad player at all. I just think they could have got him a little bit later, especially at pick 33, which they had in the second round. Celtics took Peyton Pritchard at 26. I'm giving this a C+. I really didn't like this pick at all for them. I would have preferred, if you want that like senior role point guard who's more of a court general than really a playmaker, I would have preferred Trey Jones over Peyton Pritchard. But if you're really going true point guard, I would have rather had Malachi Flynn and Tyrell Terry at this pick, who were both on the board. That's why I'm giving it a C+. The Jazz took Udoka Azubuike at 27. I'm giving this a C-. I was not a big fan at all with this pick. With Jaden McDaniels still on the board, I would have liked that. Malachi Flynn, Tyrell Terry, Desmond Bane. But they went with the center I feel like could have went in the second round. I would have also preferred Daniel Otoru over Azubuike. And they ended up moving Tony Bradley with cash and their second round pick to, I believe, Detroit, which also did make a lot of sense. Not a great draft for the Utah Jazz. The Timberwolves also had the 28th pick as they traded down from 17 to the Thunder. They took Jaden McDaniels. I really like this pick at 28. It's such a high upside pick. I'm giving it an A-. With Anthony Edwards Leandro Bolmaro, and Jaden McDaniels. Gerson Rosas really did a good job in this draft drafting wing players. Raptors took Malachi Flynn at 29. I'm giving this an A- as well. I think this is incredibly good value. He's kind of similar to like a Fred VanVleet, who might leave them in free agency. We'll have to wait and see on that. But at 29, it's great value. A fantastic pick by Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster, giving it an A-. And then finally, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, who traded up to the last pick in the first round to select Desmond Bane, the sharpshooter out of TCU. I'm giving this an A+. Zach Kleeman absolutely aced this draft with Xavier Tillman and Desmond Bane. A lot of people thought he can go like as high as 18 at the Dallas Mavericks, so I think this was an incredible job by the Grizzlies front office. I'm giving it an A+. So yeah, those were my draft grades. Let me know what you guys think about them in the comment section below. Let me know how your draft experience was also. I'd love to hear it. I would also really appreciate you dropping a thumbs up on this video. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. Hopefully I can get another draft style video out for you guys today. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.